Good morning, my trippy hippies. Good morning. It is Tammy coming to you live today from my office at 10:43, which is not the time I wanted to come live, but it's the time I went live. So exactly on time because time is illusionary, right? Perspective. And we are here for Sunday sermon this morning. I am not going to do an hour-long sermon today. That is not the intentionality. We have got a lot of moving pieces and parts. And so Amy said, do your live because people come to expect it. So I said, I will be consistent. We have been here since Amy's been here since 7. I've been here since 8. I've been up since 6.
You did get up early.
I was up early.
You messaged me early.
Yes. And so we are here getting the last two catering jobs completed for the weekend and getting the kitchen reset back up. Then we're leaving straight from here to head to Richmond to go to some of the wholesale, like all the BJ's, the Aldi's, and Costco, because we have a giant week of catering and I need to go find some pieces and parts that we pick up locally and not getting from our vendors. Thank you so much as you jump on here this morning. Say hello. Tell us where you're watching from. I see some familiar faces that I really needed to see today. Heather Johns and Elizabeth Clark. I think you ladies are going to be very proud of this message today. I feel like the last couple of months, y'all have been following along with the ebbs and the flows, and not just the last couple of months. You've been following the ebbs and the flows on this channel here for years, because that's what life really kind of truly is, right? It's a series of ebbs and flows, right? Just like the river, just like water, things come and they go, and that's never going to change, right? The moon kind of makes that happen. And I got a funny story about the moon I want to tell y'all. Oh, I see so many fun people dropping in this morning. There's Miss Norma Jean from Abilene. Miss you, Miss Norma Jean from Abilene. I see Elizabeth Clark on here. I see Heather Johns on here. This is 7 people watching us live. Only 3 of you have said hello. So if you don't mind doing me a favor and doing what it says here below my face, which is say hello, tell us where you're watching from, and dropping us a hashtag Grateful Fed in the comments today. Today is Sunday sermon. If you're just now first time ever finding us, we are in Facebook on lots of different places. If you are able to, in a place on Facebook, to share this out, do me a favor and share it out. Why not? And then we're also live on our community page over in YouTube. So if you're over in YouTube, you can hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the page, hit the like button, the bell. It'll notify you of all the things. Miss Norma Jean watches it over there in YouTube. I'm sure she'd like some comments over there with her. So go see Norma Jean on YouTube if you're not already over there. But I come live every Sunday morning. I call it Sunday Sermon. We talk about whatever kind of comes in, whatever pops up. Sometimes it's a good message. Sometimes we talk about whatever comes up, right? It's supposed to be a motivational message to help kick off your week. I always say that it's a testimony. I started out that way very much, where I spent a lot of time in trying to connect with my higher self, trying to elevate the vibration of the planet in any way that I can. Hello from Appomattox. Good to see some faces. Oh my gosh. Melanie Lewis, Erlene, I'm so glad to see you all on here today. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. It's been a while since I've seen a lot of those names in the comments, and that means a lot. It's a lot more than just tuning in to watch. It means a lot because I sometimes get caught up, like we all do, and I have not had a chance to really check in on people who I have not seen for a while. And I used to do that all the time. If you were MIA for a couple of weeks, I would just be in your DMs like, hey, I understand if you just don't, not watching or whatever. I'm just making sure that you're okay because you're someone in our community and I haven't seen you for a while. And I wanted to do like a check-in. So these little check-ins are nice. So if you're watching, just say hi. So it's a little check-in. So I know whoever's watching is all good in the hood. And if you're not, say, hey, I could give me a thumbs down or like a sad face, and then we can check in on you to make sure if you need something, we can send you some extra love and light, because that's what we're here to do. The ebbs and the flows the last couple of months, and we are in a flow state right now with a lot of balls in the air, right? A lot of balls in the air. And as I came in today, I was like, I don't know that I'm going to have capacity to do this. I need to get all this work done. And, at the end of the day, it all works out like it's supposed to. Cut the mac and cheese off. I have macaroni and cheese in there that I need to cut off. I don't want it to get over dry. Good morning. I love it. Appomattox is in the house today. What's up, Melissa Jones? But I wasn't going to do today. We got a lot to do. I don't think I have a message today. Nothing really came in. I've just been really hyper focused on next positive steps, how this thing is unfolding. We have a lot of kind of big projects in the back of my mind. They are my mind, like on the back burner, things that we have coming up to do. And I was just like, I don't know that I have the capacity today to be able to do a Sunday sermon. Like, I don't know what, I really have like a lot of pieces in my brain. Oh, look, it's the Didians, like the Gideons with the D, the Didians. I'm so glad to see y'all today. And maybe that's what today was, just perspective of checking in to say hi, right? It's just about perspective, and I'm going to share the little wisdom nugget that came in. But it's also, she said today, she's like, that people rely on Sunday sermon. It's your constant every Sunday thing. And if you don't do it, you are going to be stressed out all day because you didn't do it. She's like, you're going to be saying, I should have done Sunday sermon today. I should have done Sunday sermon today. She's like, so go do it. Let me go get these dishes knocked out. And then by the time you get done with Sunday sermon, the dishes will be done. We can make our big giant master list for the week for the Sam's Club. All of our orders should have picked up, and we can hit the road. So, here we are, sitting here on Sunday sermon. I said, okay, you're right. Perspective is that, I was looking at it from, I have to have this hour-long, like, Tammy talk, right, prepared, and I don't have that. Like, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. And the perspective was that I stopped. I'm like, you know what? Just let's check in. Let me see some faces. Let me say hi, and trust, right? If you're in a flow state, and faith operates here. Faith is right here in this space. I said, let me just operate from a place of faith and know that God, source, the universe, spirit, whatever words we use, right? We don't yuck anybody's yum. Whatever words you use, whatever that is, whatever testimony, whatever message, I need to have faith that I'm going to be a clear and perfect channel for that message today, regardless of if I have a clue as I hit go live button, right? So I was like, that's it. I'm going to have faith. I'm going to trust, and I'm going to change my perspective. If I do nothing other than say, hey, everybody, it's Sunday. Everybody okay? I'm okay. What's going on in the world? And let's go, right? Read a card and keep it moving. At least we've kind of done a check-in today. Sometimes that's all you need, right? But in this busy world that we live in this crazy world that we live in, one of the things that it's been a theme lately in my life, and maybe in yours, and maybe in your families or whatever, right? Is that every day when you get up and you start your day, tell me in the comments how you do it, right? What is the first thing that you do in the morning when you get up, right? Do you watch the news? Do you look at your social media? Do you unplug? What do you do? Like for me, I have been working really diligently to like take the morning and take a deep breath, get excited for my day, right? Thank my body, even if it hurts in the morning, because it has been a little tough the last couple of weeks, right? I'm like, all right, I'm gonna if I have pain in my body, I can feel my body. I need to get inside of my body. I send love to the places that kind of hurt. I thank the universe for waking me up this morning and for the day that I'm gonna have, right? I thank you for the day that I am going to have today. It's gonna be a beautiful day, right? Watch the local news while drinking, to catch the weather while drinking my coffee, right? And so I get up in the mornings. Here's the thing. We sleep with the TV on in our room. I hate it. I've been trying to cut it off at night, things like that. I'm making sure this had already done it. Perfect. So the TV is kind of on, right? And it's usually on, we always watch the NBC station, like Channel 12 here locally. And so the Today Show is normally our morning kind of news thing. And then, I get up and I go in the bathroom and, like everybody else, in the bathroom in the morning, and you're doing your scroll and you're liking and you're doing some social media or whatever. But think about what we are inundated with, whether it's social media, whether it's a newspaper, whether it's our Alexa reading us the news, or we're seeing it, whatever stations we watch. Maybe we're at Starbucks and they've got like the CNN thing on, or we're, I think about it, my dreams and my day-to-day come, I get grateful, I check the news. Yep, all the things, right? But we are getting the news from some source. And what I have been seeing lately, right, is such bad news, right, on the news. Like everything that I hear on the news every morning. Woke up the other day to like massive cell phone outages, EMGs. Wake up to like war here, or invasions there, or bombings here, or shootings here. And the news is not telling about any humanitarian. That's like 5 seconds at the end, right? After you've already gotten like devastated by all the horrible things happening all over the planet, and probably have tuned out and can't stand anymore. But the way to get you to watch is never come see how wonderful the world is. It is come watch the shit show and watch it burn, right? Can anybody say hallelujah, amen, if that's what you get from it? Because that's what I get from it. And the more that we have prescribed or subscribed, right, to allowing them to draw us in with that, the more that they are going to do it because of a dollars and cents kind of thing. So what I am trying to do, right, is I give up trusting it. So here's the thing though, when you give up trusting it, and I saw something that's perspective, right? And it was talking about this and all the things. And the comment, it's a lot of different things about perspective, right? So perspective, number one, being afraid of it, not trusting it. Perspective is that being able to take a breath and say, hey, this is going to be told in a way to sensationalize it. But regardless of whether it's sensationalized or not, there's still some really scary things happening in the world. So whether we trust the way it's being reported or not, we are still being traumatized, or we're still being trauma bonded, right, to the information coming in. I am very tuned into and very abreast of any type of local, not local, but like national news that is concerning women's health. It's concerning healthcare, education, voting rights, things that are going to limit my freedoms as a human person matter to me. I don't want my freedoms limited. I want the ability to make choices that are for me and for my family, and the government and people need to stay out of that, right? Perspective, right? Not getting into that. But I'm going to say this. There was a meme today that said, we watching the news and we are told not to speak about politics and religion. How many people their whole life go, we don't talk about politics or religion. We don't talk about politics or religion. Like nobody talks about it. Can I have a hallelujah, amen? I'm going to wait for a second because I'm going to guarantee you I am not the only one, right? There's not a meme made of it, me be the only one. It said, like, we have always been taught we should not speak about politics or religion. Anybody else got that their life? While you're answering that, I'm going to look at some of these comments. So Heather says, people think I'm out of touch, but I do not watch the news anymore. And since I haven't, those negative things no longer impact my immediate future. I'm not blind, but I don't eat and feed on it every day. Exactly, right? Kristen says, hallelujah, amen. She's heard that. We should never talk about politics or religion. Anybody else heard that? Like, you don't talk about, my dad swore by it, right? Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. It's interesting. Perspective. This is going to be a really interesting take on perspective, okay? So anybody else knew not to talk about politics or religion? I say it here all the time, which I'm going to change it a little bit. That, you know, we don't talk about that. It's not something you want to get into. No sense in having an argument over it, all the things, right? Here's the perspective of that. Amen. So Elizabeth Clark can swear by it. By not talking about politics or religion, we have made our own bed. Because we are not taking the opportunity to learn how to have difficult and constructive and civil conversations about things that we don't agree on, things that we have different opinions on. And those are two things that people have usually very very strong feelings about. And those are the two things that maybe are a lot of who your personality is, things that you, and not ever be, and being told not to have a conversation about that puts us into the place that we are now. It puts you into your place because then you just find the thing that you agree with and you watch it and you have no other point of view. And then you have all these different places knowing how to target market you, right? Because you're not talking about it, but you're clicking on things that are going to help them to figure out what you're about. And then they're going to silo you and keep you from ever having a different opinion. And that is not just, that's just a small example about how programming works. And when I say, oh, that's your programming, people are like, what? They get so mad at me when I say that. And I said, oh, that was just my programming. And I'm trying to rewrite, I'm trying to change the neuroplasticity in my brain to see something differently. Because as we evolve as human people, we have to be able to see other people's perspective and have a conversation about them to bring us back together. So from a perspective place, right? Why are people not okay with real conversations anymore? It's our way, exactly. But people don't have lost the art of having that conversation. Look at our presidential debates. Look at all of the things that we see national things doing. The Congress and the Senate are never does it say the Senate and the Congress did these things today for the American people. A portion of the Congress said that they thought their constituents would want it this way, and a portion of the senators and congressmen or congresspersons thought that their constituents were better served this way. I've not heard that. What I have heard is the Republicans want to block the Democrats, and the Democrats are trying to block the Republicans. And there's nothing about what they're doing there for the American people, the people that pay their salaries, the people that put them in their respective places, right? Because we are taught, don't talk about politics and don't talk about religion, because heaven forbid that we evolve and we find the things that we have a lot more common ground on than we have apart. And that's where the world is separating us and pulling us apart. And that's perspective today. That's the perspective I want you to think about today. I want you to have a conversation with somebody who you wouldn't have a conversation with this week. I want you, when I talk about the power of one is not talking to the person you talk to every fucking day. It is not saying good morning to the people that you like and that you know. It is about every single day to raise the vibration of this planet, to raise the vibration of your community, of your household, of everything else. You have to go out and you have to touch another human being every day in some positive way. Some days that does need to be you. Some days it doesn't need to be a person beside you, but other days it needs to be somebody who you see at the grocery store, or you run into at the Wawa or the Sheetz, or that you're pumping gas beside, or you're at a doctor's appointment with, a total stranger, because you're adding to the value of the power of one. And you give them the message about, hey, perspective, right? Or, hey, find some common ground. Find a way to connect with another person to find common ground. Because here's what I am finding from the whole idea of enlightenment and raising the collective vibration is this. The separation is dark space. We are all soul stars, right? How many people believe that they are a soul in a human suit, but you are a soul that you are energy that is infinite? God created you, and God doesn't make mistakes, right? The universe, source, whatever, but I believe very diligently within my heart, and everybody has, this is a conversation, right? And we're going to have a difficult conversation today, and I'm going to maybe do some weird shit, right? Star seed here, right? Everybody who believes they have a soul. I believe that I have a soul, and that when this body that I'm in currently no longer is able to, it's like a machine, right? I have to replace parts and pieces on the food truck. I have to replace stoves. At some point, the mechanics that's holding the soul, right? The machine that the soul is running right now. I am putting I'm putting some miles on this. I'm gonna ride it like I stole it, right? I'm gonna drive it like I stole it. I'm gonna slide it in, and that was a hell of a ride at the end, right? That's what I want to do. I'm gonna live this full human experience in this incarnation, in this soul's incarnation, the best way that I can. But I know, right, that at the end, that energy is infinite. It is only transmuted and changed. So then my energy is then going to do something different. And it is a bright light, right? And I truly believe that as we come together as larger and larger communities and we stop seeing the separation, we start coming back together as families. We start coming back together as community. We start coming back together as townships and counties and states and nations and as human people, right? And understanding that the more we do, the more that we are working for the betterment of the bringing together of community, the sooner that the enlightenment and we raise the vibration by bringing and lighting up the star seeds, right? You bring them back. And that's why I say that with the Hometown Hippie and with the Grateful Fed, our goal as Reiki infused catering and food, I call it kitchen wishes, right? As culinarians who are Reiki attuned and light healers, my business integrity goal has always been to raise the collective vibration at love and light through every bite, because food to me, food is a way to bring people together. It's the coming together of. It's the coming together of like minds, of building of communities. And if we don't ever build our communities and reach out to those other people and extend that power of one hand, right? And understanding, like I heard the other day, like no good deed goes unpunished. And I was like, when you do things, when you do a good deed out of just the sheer want of doing the good deed, there is no expectation of any kind of return. Then how does it go? It goes completely as it's supposed to go, as the good deed was meant to be done. If you complete a good deed, that's exactly it. It's completed. It is done. It is not for the expectation of a return. I truly believe that God source. I told you the story. I've told the story a million times about the planting of the seed, asking God, like, hey, I planted the seed. God, you told me to plant this pollinator seed. I planted it in good dirt. It had sunshine this year. It had water this year. Why is the bloom not coming up? And God said, it is not your job to worry about the growing. It is your job to worry about the planting of the seed. Sometimes things have to grow a root system that's way deeper than what they show above the surface. That is not of your concern. Your job is to plant the seed, right? And then live your life in a way that waters and sunshines and nourishes it. You do the deed without the expectation and commit to the process and detach from the outcome. And it's interesting as we do this. That's what I've done. I'm trying to make sure I'm under reading this right. I usually can decipher when there's like phone stuff because my phone does this too. That's what I've loved about what you were doing. Thank you, Kristen. I think I figured that. I was like, that's what I've loved about what I'm doing too, right? Yes. Hey, I translated it perfectly. Perfect. I just needed a second because there's a lot of L's, and I was like, I need a second to like. I'm like, la, la, la. I was like an I and then an L, just because my eyes were not working great, right? But so many times, we shy away from, right? We shy away from other people, right? People. I hate people. I don't like people. I'm like, Heather was joking the other day about she had a shirt that says, I hate it here. You know what I mean? And I get that, but it is perspective. It is perspective. And there are days when I tell people all the time, and I love every single one of you. I love every one of you. But I promise you, there have been a day and a time and a moment where my people meter was at here and I didn't have anything else to give. Because my battery, when my people meter is here, which means my battery is depleted, I have to go recharge. I am not saying that if you have a boundary you need to set with people, you have to protect your energy. You are a part of the collective and you have to change the world. That's what I said. Some days, the person you have to take care of is you, right? Other times, you need to go out and really take the opportunity to talk to other people. Here's what I'm going to say. I believe without a doubt in my soul, and I was telling Amy this earlier today. My sister and I were talking about this, right? We talked about this before about, hands here, the hieroglyphics and the Egyptian, like walk like an Egyptian, right? Walk like an Egyptian. And the spiritual, we delve into some learning about that, right? This is the hand that you are gazing your eyes. If you literally look at the pictures, the eye is gazing up, right? I always say, they say to the divine, as you start looking for your enlightenment, right? I am seeking enlightenment. My hand is up. I am seeking knowledge. I am choosing to outreach to try to, okay, I want to be lifted. Now, that is your responsibility to seek out your goal, your enlightenment, your higher self. That is your thing, right? Then there is the hand that goes back to people below, right? That's not looking back. The hand is here. No, I'm never. No, the symbol is never like, hey, where are you? Where are you? Hey, my hands. It's here. I have to take care of me, and in return, I'm going to plant the seed for the person who might need I might be the next level above, like, not, you know what I'm saying, like to help someone else into the levels, like the whole level, right? So what you have to do, we are the channel, right? You can't make someone reach out for help. You cannot make them reach out for help. You cannot force the help on the person, because then there's not an equal exchange of energy and they don't want to be changed. All you can do is offer. You can plant the seed. The hand is here. It is your job, like it is my job, to seek it, right? Perspective. So if you are living in a place where you don't believe, right, and you think the only thing that I can do right now, the power of one, if you are living in survival, I understand that. If you're living in survival, you are not able to help someone else. You are not able to, you have to focus that. You have your people meters here, right, to recharge your battery so that you can then grow and that you can then move forward. But it's not your fault what made you need the help. Like what put you in, like, whatever traumas happened or were done to you were not your fault. And I'm not, so don't think that I'm victim blaming when I get ready to say what I'm going to say, right? There are people who have illnesses. I am not blaming you for any of that. Maybe you're sick. Maybe your partner cheated on you. Maybe your boss treats you like absolute utter poop. You hate your job, but you feel stuck. Maybe you have a friend who's a toxic friend and is one way. Maybe you have a parent who you have to go no contact with, whatever the case may be. Whatever atrocity was done to you to make you go into survival mode and not be able to, and your PTSD, your trauma bond, whatever it may be, that is not your fault. What is your responsibility is the healing of it. It is your responsibility to seek the hand. It is your responsibility to do the work. We talked about the cow and the bull, right? Cows and bulls. Bulls run into the storm, get through it, and get it moving on. The cow keeps running from it, gets caught in the storm, all the things. If you are being the cow, right? If you are being the heifer, don't be a trifling heifer, right? Run into the storm for a little bit. It's your responsibility to do the work to fix it. It is no one else's responsibility to do that for you. Another difficult conversation, right? It's hard to have these because people feel very attacked by it. They get their feelings hurt too easy, and then nothing gets resolved. And then that's the problem we're at in this world. Like someone said, like, people don't make eye contact anymore. We have to start having these conversations in a respectful, diplomatic way. But it is okay for Kristen and I not to agree. It is okay for Heather and I to have a difference of opinion. That is what makes the world go around. No community, no community is going to have everybody with the exact same opinion on every single thing. What I can say is this, in the whole wide world, is this. We would love to start creating a more of an intentional living community locally where you can live in a like-minded community with people who are working for the same common goal, right? At some point, that is something that I'm very interested in developing and putting forth an effort into, where it's kind of a self-contained community to see what you can do, right? But even in that community, there's going to be people who believe one way and people who believe another way about big life issues. What we can do is come together to have a conversation that is respectful. Hi, check it right at the window. That is respectful, that is courteous, that is kind, and you can still have a difference of opinion. You can debate without not liking each other. You can believe different things and understand it. But you know what's going to be funny is that a lot of times when you sit down with another person, I have sat down with people who I was like, I have nothing in common with this person. We do not agree on things, right? But it is because we never had a chance to communicate. At the end of the day, we had 20 million more things in common that brought us together than the three things we disagreed on. And at the end of the conversation, neither of us are going to change our opinion about big things, right? But both of us learned a different respect for the other person's point of view and could see it a little bit better, and didn't have such, it was not about like, oh, you don't like me, so you do this. It's about, hey, this is what I believe, this is why I believe, this is what my moral place is on this. And then I can say, hey, I get that, and here's why I see it the opposite way. And especially on like fertility issues, when it's a man and a woman having a conversation, right? Talking to my dad, who was a Fox News watcher, over me, who is not, who I've had a hysterectomy. Dad's like, what doesn't bother you? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, here's the thing, Dad. But he's like, I get what you're saying. He says, I do. And he says, the reason why a lot of things happen, his opinion is because there's people out there with no common sense, and they don't have, I said, but it's their bodies. And if it doesn't affect you, at the end of the day, that is going to be their, like you talk about people having their own walk with their religion, their walk through the world with moral and things like that, right? The government's not supposed to be like, where are you? Let me save you all, right? You don't know how to do this. If it's going to affect their body, and that's them, let them have their life, right? Having these conversations in a way that allows people to do it without any expectation, right? My expectation is I'm not going to change your mind. And it's not about like finding all the things we can fight about. It is about where are the places that we agree on. Let's find some things that we have common ground on. Let's sit down and break bread, right? Food does that. That's why I do what I do. It is hard to be mad at somebody when you can both agree that my macaroni and cheese and my cornbread's delicious. That's the first common ground. That's what my mom always told me. If you get people eating and talking, it's really hard for people to be pissed off with really good food in their mouth. We can all agree that this is delicious. And so many of my family meals were saved because we would have political conversations. You remember those days when you could have that at Thanksgiving and nobody would like not talk to anybody and like leave and slam doors and get in a fist fight over it, right? Perspective. You are letting them tear us apart. And I'm going to tell you this perspective. You look at foreign entities affecting us, right? They are not doing it by bombs. They are not doing it by biological warfare, even though those things are all scary and they're all happening. They are doing it by dividing us. A house divided falls, a house together stands. We are a nation of divided individuals. They are the more dark, right? What separates the light? What makes light look separate? Perspective, the dark. If we're spreading light, we're trying to increase the light, we're trying to raise the vibration. Those things, that dark matter is filling in the spaces and pushing us apart. The more the light comes together, the more we ascend, and the more that we come together as community, and that's the soul, that's the starlight, that's the north, that's God. The more we come together as divinity, that's when Jesus returns, right? You want to talk about like, that's how you bring all this stuff in here, right? Right? Think about the return of the son. We are all the sons and daughters of Christ, of God. We all have divinity within us. But when we say separate, we come together and then we create part of we have it within us. That's my belief. Thank you.
Is that what's?
Oh yeah, plus a tip. That's our tip.
We got it.
Because I think we
got email money.
We're going to eat out today. We're going to have lunch. We're going to the club of Sam's. I'm not going to Sam's Club. We're going to go to BJ's. Yes. I'd much rather go to BJ's. Perspective. That's exactly it. That is 100% it. As much effort was put into conversations as there were arguments, there would be more peace. And here's what we're going to do. My goal in this lifetime is to bring the light to spread love and light, to bring us together as community, to find places where we can share a meal. And that's why I love being a part of all of these life conversations. We try to put, we bake and we cook in intentionality into everything we do. And I love when, like today, for example, we did 2 events today. One was not wedding, food for a wake, food for a funeral service. And in that one, we put in, like, hey, this needs to have comfort and peace, and knowing that the person who has passed is with us, just not on this physical plane, right? And it's got lots of love and protection and all the things. And it also says in there, like, allow the release of the tears, allow the mourning, allow the grief, because you have to process that. Like, allow them to process this grief through in the way in which they can most productive and to their highest and best, right? Allow them to feel the love and to have the knowledge to do this as a celebration of their loved one. And all of the things I put in there have a specific reason I put them there for that. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, the second thing was about once a quarter, I have a customer who gets a whole Sunday family dinner. It's her turn to do it. They go together, they come together as a family. There's like 20 of them to come together. Number one, every time I get that order, my heart grows a little bit, because I think to myself, coming together a family, right? Because I believe coming together a family and then coming together of community are the 2 biggest things. I think when families start finding their way back to family homesteads, and they start co-communicating and working together from a place of understanding and a shared experience, and knowing that your family is probably usually the people that you're incarnated with, your close people, are people who you've been their parent before, you've been their cousin before, you're part of that family. But when I say family, I don't just mean, because a lot of us do not interact with a blood family. I'm saying when you come together with your soul family and with your family that you have here on this planet, that is the start of the rising of the vibration. If more families got together and did like that whole communal eating and the coming up together, it really does make an impact in communities and in general. And so we got to do that. So that one was let's have some fun and abundance and good news and protection, because I always think about families, and I'm going to ask y'all for a little favor for mine in a little while. But it is about that. It is about the coming back together of community. It is about the raising of the light. And again, when you come together, all the light, right? All the lights are all over here like stars in the sky. But think about if they all, like this, all of the night sky was full of stars, there would be light. It'd be lit up, right? And that's what we are. Each of us, our souls are stars. And bright shining lights that we can bring in our chi heaven, God-given light, our life force energy. And the more that we are working for the commonality and the good of all, and we're coming together and we're combining, it's going to push out the dark, and that's how we change and we elevate everything. That's funny. Heather says, I've watched your energy change from gray to smoky to shiny and bright. It was probably a little smoky because I was smoking a bowl. I know it's smoky. I'm just kidding. But with that being said, we are going to pull our card. And as we do that, I am going to ask for a special blessing. I've never been shy about sharing with you all that my brother suffers from opioid addiction, and he is spending some time in a state penitentiary as a result of bad choices made because of that addiction. My dad got really mad at me the first time I came live and talked about it. He's like, don't talk about our business. Like, Dad, I was like, there's another family. I said, I'm not embarrassed by it. It's what it is. I'm not embarrassed by anything, because here's the truth of the matter, right? It's perspective. Everybody's family has things going on, and I'm as authentic as my food, and y'all know where we stand. And my brother is very sick right now. He has actually been transferred to the MCV care unit. If anybody wants to write letters of encouragement, he doesn't even have JPay right now, but I could probably get an address for cards of Goodwill or Get Well. I'm not sure. My brother we did a biopsy yesterday. He's got some very large tumors that are actually, what's the word we're looking for, Amy? Like malignant, and they're penetrating his sinus cavity and his neck and his skull. And I don't know if my brother is going to outlive me. I don't know. We don't know. Tomorrow's not promised, but I know that I got 2 things. Number one, my liver scan came back, And my blood work and my ultrasound were way worse than my liver scan, but I've been Reiki in my liver like crazy, like sending lots of love and light that way. So I 100% believe that I have like reversed some of my liver stuff. Um, see, Heather, I love this, and mine too, right? And then Kristen says, I'm sorry too. And then, the other day we were really scared because we woke up the other day and my brother, all of us had been kicked out of being able to go visit him. All of us had been kicked out of that. All of my dad, my husband, my sister, and I are all on the visitation list. We all got said we were no longer approved to come see him at 6:50 in the morning. And my dad had a missed call. He was out of town working from the warden's secretary because they will contact the family if something happens. And we looked in the DOC system, and he was not there. He had disappeared. So our worst fear was that he had passed, and we didn't know. And we were frantic, scrambling, trying to find him and find all the things. It was either going to be noon or 10. If she was coming, it was going to be 10. It's okay. And then, but he's there. He's had his MRI. He's on pain medicine. So we're sending lots of love and light that way for my family. I'm very, very, very concerned about him. I'm more pissed off at the Department of Corrections, to be honest, because this has been going on since last summer. He kept saying he felt pressured. He was having terrible nosebleeds. And he said, I'm having the worst headaches I've ever had. And I know something's wrong. And they keep telling me it's an ear infection, but I've had this my whole life and it's not right. And we started sending letters and we started complaining. And I've been sending letters I need to find an attorney to help us. I said, if you're not going to take care of him, give him to us. We'll do it. Like, we'll take care of it. But, my baby brother is very, 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 very ill right now. And I don't know how I feel about it. But we're gonna perspective it, right? And I can choose to see him and hold him in perfect health. And that's what I want each of you to do, right? He's got a little fight he's got to fight, but there's shadow work and there's always something that's attached to that. What caused him to be an addict, whatever trauma he was carrying, was not his fault. But his responsibility, whether it's his responsibility to heal from it. What? She's out here, Milton Market, watching from the ocean. So I do not want you all to hold him in sympathy. I want you to hold him in perfect health. And whether he has to take perfect health and spend the next 23 years there, I'd rather him be in perfect health and be breathing air, right, than to be done. And I don't know and the problem is that with the amount of time he has looking at him, I don't know how much fight he has in him, because he said he'd rather be dead than be in there for that many more years. He's that miserable. And I get that. And I just want an attorney to help us to be able to, like, maybe, because he's not a bad person. And the mistakes he made were because of drugs. And we know that there's a whole thing about opioids. But, all I can do is hold space and know that I love him and send him the love that I can give him. My liver scan was much better. I do have to change a few little dietary things. So take some medications to help my inflammation and things. But I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm much better than I thought I was. I've got one more little thing I got to deal with this. And then hopefully we'll be on the right track. The lupus is eating away at your old girl, but I'm not taking, I don't like a lot of medicine. You know how I am. Now we're going to pull our weekly cards. We're going to get off here today. I was longer than I thought I was going to be. I didn't mean to get this in this space because I'm not, that we're going to hold space that the outcome is to the highest and best. And that's exactly what we can attest. So be it, so it is. I align with that energy, Heather. Thank you so much for that. Interesting. Those are not our cards, though. I know that. If they pull out again, they will be. I always say that. Yes, he said do it. He wants any kind of love. He'll take it. He'll take it. Yeah, he definitely will take it. He wants to not hurt, and that's what I'm saying. He says whatever is supposed to happen will happen. Just send me. He said put me on the prayer list. He is on every prayer list. My husband is on the prayer list. He wants the prayers. I just, it's that kind of a fight is hard to do on somebody who's out here with support. My concerns are, that he hasn't got it. Yeah. Melissa hasn't had to use a bus pass yet. That's good. Y'all know Melissa and Anthony on the cruise, and last time Melissa got so intoxicated, she was on the cruise waiting for her bus to pick her up and take her home. That cracked me up so much. All right, we're gonna go ahead and shuffle this 11 times. Ask for the best card for our highest and best today. 2. This is the card. This is the card. It popped out of my hand. It was like, no, Tammy, this is the one. So it's Rhodonite. Interesting. Rhodonite. Find a way to forgive. Find a way to forgive. And for some reason, to me, I'm feeling like this is somebody needs to hear this today, and I think it's going to be on a two-way forgiveness. Just as much of forgiving somebody else is about forgiving ourselves, because a lot of us live in that. Sorry, y'all. Someone out there is living in a place of survival simply because they feel responsible for the place that they're in. A lot of us are holding on to the fact that we believe that the fact that we are only in survival mode is because we made a wrong decision, and now we don't trust our intuition to be able to get out of that place. That's what just came in, and this forgiveness comes in with this. You made the best decision with the information you had at the time. Even if you're in this place of survival because of what you feel is a choice you made, know that the lesson that you were supposed to learn from that will keep you from ever getting there again. And because you're at the place now because of the decision, it is a much lesser lesson. It's a stick compared to the whole tree. And that's the message I have for somebody out there tonight. All right, Rhodonite, find a way to forgive. There is freedom in forgiveness. It's natural to react when others hurt or betray us. But if you can move past the first layers of blame, resentment, anger, disappointment, or frustration, you can free yourself from this negativity and toxicity. When you are able to forgive, you empower yourself rather than letting your emotions have power over you. Forgiving someone, however, doesn't mean that you condone what they have done. It simply allows you to release your ties to that experience so you can move on. At its core, forgiveness is self-serving. It's not for them, it is for you. I say all the time, 2 things can be true. I forgive you and I love you, but you cannot eat at my table. You can eat, I want you to eat, but you're not going to eat with me. I can love you from the balcony, right? Yep. Core questions. Are you holding any grudges or holding on to resentment or anger towards someone in your life? I want you to journal that this week. This is our journal questions, right? Heather, do you have the space to post this today? Because I think somebody needs to have this posted. If not, I will find someone. I don't want to put anything on your plate that you can't do. But these are core questions, and this is something I'm going to journal this week. Are you holding on to grudges and resentment and towards someone in your life? What would it feel like to forgive them? Think about all of the space that anger and resentment and being mad at somebody holds in your body. And if you got rid of that and that was no longer yours to carry, think about all the room that you have then for blessings and all those things. Think about that. And here's our crystal affirmation this week. Forgiveness starts with me. I love that. Today, choose one person, yourself or another, and start moving towards forgiveness. I'm going to bet that every single one of us can look ourselves in the mirror every day and give yourself some grace and say, I forgive you. I forgive myself for like last night I got up. I'm going to tell this little story, then we're going to go off here. Last night I got up. I was thirsty. I've been drinking water all day. I had a couple little sodas. I'm really trying to go down to I got to have my gallon of water before I can have a soda. Because I like a Diet Pepsi, and I'm like, I'm never going to give them up all the way, but I'm going to try to. I did for a year. I gave them up completely.
No, I don't know why you can't.
I had Topamax. It didn't taste good.
I have Topamax.
I do not want to take Topamax.
But I have some.
No, yes. So I got up last night. I was like, ooh, it's 9 o'clock. I'm going to get some. I've had all my water today. I'm going to make a soda. I'm going to treat myself. And I stopped myself. And I'm like, and my intuition, my forgiveness, when you know better, you do better kicked in and said, that is not treating yourself. Treating yourself would be to put more water in your body if you're thirsty, because that's what's best for your body. That's treating myself. That's poisoning myself, right? Perspective. So as you walk through this week and you start looking at things, I want you to have, clear eyes, full heart, can't lose? So I want you to look at perspective this week, right? I want you to take a moment, right? We have trouble forgiving because of perspective. We have trouble having a conversation because we can't see things from somebody else's perspective. What I want you to do today is this week, whatever you do in this world, is like, number one, give yourself a little grace and find some forgiveness for yourself. Take stock in the things in which you maybe need to like release and forgive. But I want you to take a moment this week when you find yourself in a place where maybe you're not agreeing with something or you're feeling out of flow. And I want you to take a moment to take a breath, and I want you to look at perspective. Turn the news off. It's not doing you any good, right? And try to be the light in this world that you just plant the seed, right? Just walk through this world knowing that you are living in your best, and whatever your best is in that moment. But if you're operating from the best possible space that you can with all the things that you have going on, then you are doing a damn good job. And I appreciate you. Okay. Today will be a good day. Today's going to be an amazing day. Today's going to be the best day ever. Like, get up every morning, just perspective, right? And if you what you see, where your mind goes, your energy flows. That perspective can change your entire life. I'm thinking about doing a little private Zoom kind of thing soon. I've been trying to find time for it, and I really want to, like, just this time for us to sit down, have a glass of wine, smoke a bowl, whatever you do at your own private place, your own Zoom. Cut your camera off, nobody wants to see it, whatever. And really just kind of come together and have a conversation and be very much conversational. So if anybody's interested in something like that, let me know. If somebody else wants to run it, hold it, and do it, I'd love that. I'll show up and be there. But on that note, y'all go out today, make it the best day you can. We're going to be out and about this week, so I can't promise any other lives this week. I really just can't. I'm going to do my best. That's all I can do, right? I'm going to operate from a place of my best. And know that I appreciate each and every one of you. Very interesting. Good. Yes, I love that. So on that note, we're going to end these like we always do. I want to say thank you for watching at the bottom there. And we're going to do a little peace, a little love, and a little feast. And as always, y'all stay elevated, and I will see you next time.